Sarah was that perfect middle child. She loved being a big sister. She loved being a little sister. You know, she's light, she's bright, she's eyes sparkle, her cheeks are pink. She just loved everybody. She loved being a part of a team. She loved her pals. She loved her siblings. She loved school. One day she had a stiff neck. You know, we went in to her doctor. I went to the ER once. It just nothing was, just couldn't figure it out. I said, there's something going on with Sarah and I'm supposed to be her advocate. You know, then from there your world falls apart and you're the parent, you're supposed to protect your kid. You're supposed to make it all okay and you can't. Her second grade year, I think she made it to 95% of second grade, even undergoing chemo treatment. That's where she wanted to be. Her second grade teacher that year was GT.
I didn't even think she was going to show up that day because I knew that she had just gone through radiation. And sure enough, that first day of school, I remember Sarah just coming in and she looked at me with these beautiful eyes. And she'd say, "Good morning, GT." That minute I met Sarah, I knew that she was light.
And everything that Sarah did was just full speed ahead, enthusiastic. I can't say enough.
Just vibrant, always smiling, always running. "Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Nana." Just darling.
When either Mary Ellen or I would walk in a room and Sarah was there, the first thing she did, she dropped everything and ran over and gave us each a big hug and a kiss. Nothing slowed her down, not at all.
Sarah made it easy for us. You know, when she knew that she was going to go the next day to go face chemo, like she didn't say, "I'm afraid, I don't want to go." Like she didn't show us that. What she showed us was, "I'm right here. I'm right here."
She had that kind of spirit that made it so that nobody wanted to disappoint her. She's the only 9-year-old in the world that I think could make all of those men wear hot pink, because you know that, 7-year-old man who's never worn pink before in his life is walking around. It's like, I wouldn't want to disappoint Sarah.
We wear those pink t-shirts to this day.
When she passed, you find yourself kind of grabbing onto anything. You just couldn't believe that, the light had gone out and that she actually succumbed to this, and you had to do something. Keep it, keep her memory alive. Her buddies, her Girl Scout troop, they were like, we got to do something, and they turned into pink bandanas.
These young girls, children, were like 9 and 10 years old. They were children, and they wanted to do whatever they could to raise money for cancer research.
We're the Pink Bandanas Guild, and we raise money for pediatric brain tumor research in honor of our friend Sarah Hughes.
I think it was a collective idea to help other kids not have to endure what Sarah had to.
And they were 10, 11 years old when Sarah died, and they have continued tirelessly to do this. It's not just sort of the silent fundraising part of this. They show up. I think that they're probably different girls because of Sarah's presence in their life.
To know that, they're still doing that, like they're 16 years old and still wearing pink, that's special.
I think you appreciate the work that people are doing to try and solve this, or at least make progress, and you're looking forward to more progress and hopefully a cure.
In Seattle, at Fred Hutch, they're happening. They are making progress, and they are giving us all a reason to hope.
The Hutch has incredible research and the equipment to make it work.
The fact that Fred Hutch is focusing on pediatric cancer, it's just very telling that now it needs to be a priority. It's imperative, because it's not okay for children to get cancer.
I think the great benefits between the relationship of Seattle Children's and the Hutch are in that we can bring the best of our teams, the best of that passion together around kids to be the place that ends up being the place that cures childhood cancer. To me, there's the inspiration knowing that so many people wake up every day. They may be on different campuses, but they wake up every day with the singular goal to cure kids' cancer, and they want Seattle to be the place that makes that happen.
When I came to Seattle, there was a private practice at Children's in Pediatric Oncology and no Hutchinson Center. After a number of years, we did start a pediatric oncology research program and actually gained the first pediatric oncology training grant from the NIH in the country.
The early leaders at Fred Hutch, Don Thomas and others, instilled a spirit of discovery against all odds and against all pressure.
Really the passion here, there's an underlying just basal level of innovation and desire to help our patients and to move the field forward. It's always been here.
It's a unique environment at Fred Hutch where people from so many different disciplines interact, and I think the best science happens at the intersection of different fields.
So much of what I do and what my colleagues who do research in oncology, they actually intertwine tremendously.
When we do these studies, we have access to both pediatric and adult patients, and we can develop products that can cross over the ages. So the things that are happening in the adult bone marrow transplant world can be translated to pediatrics. But just as importantly, we can innovate in pediatrics and have that translate to the adult world.
Some of the other great pediatric cancer centers in this country have dozens of labs, 47 labs at Texas Children's, 69 labs at St. Jude. Fred Hutch has 5 labs that focus on pediatric cancer. Irv Bernstein has understood what makes a stem cell a cancer cell versus a normal cell. Colleen Delaney has understood how we can expand stem cells from umbilical blood and save people's lives that couldn't otherwise be recipients of cord blood transplant. Marie Bleakley understands how to take the genetic profile of a patient's cancer and pick the best donor for their transplant so that they have the highest likelihood of success and the lowest amount of side effects. And she works closely with Sohail Mashinshi, who is the world leader in taking care of and research on the toughest AML, a type of leukemia. My lab focuses on brain tumors, and we coordinate our efforts with the brain tumor researchers at Seattle Children's Hospital and Seattle Children's Research Institute.
The fact that there are only 5 labs and we've accomplished as much as we have really speaks to the environment.
5 research labs that are based at Fred Hutch have done groundbreaking work that has changed the practice of medicine. And we really need to take this small but powerful group and expand it into a bigger and more powerful group.
All these diseases individually are small, but together they're actually an enormous number of people that are impacted by life-threatening cancer or life-threatening immune deficiency. So it's not that you're just helping one small group, you're actually helping thousands of children over time. Everybody deserves a chance to have their child grow up, right? We all want our children to outlive us. We all want them to have productive lives, to be smiling, to be successful.
Taking care of patients every day, because that's where my passion is. It is a thing that motivates me and gives me constant reinforcement, but I would take a tough day in the hospital over a tough day in the lab, even if it means saying goodbye.
Seeing a beautiful human being in front of me and knowing that they deserve every chance at life. They deserve every chance at playing, going to school, growing up, getting married, having children. They deserve everything that the rest of us have.
It's such an important time for 2 reasons. One is the opportunities have never been greater. At the same time, funding has never been more difficult.
We are at the precipice of something amazing, and we can't do it without support from people like you.
We had a grant that was funding our research, our protocols, and several years ago when there was that economic downturn, we lost the funding. It was so incredibly helpful to have donors like everyone in this room. It actually enabled me to keep my trial open, because if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have been able to do what I do. And I would have had to, I wouldn't have been able to say to a family, I can help you. So, thank you.
No one should have to go through what Sarah went through. And she did it without complaining, without a sad face. Like, she showed up.
Children are our future. But if we don't save our children, we don't have a future. With this research that Hutch is doing, and tonight, getting enough money to wipe this out, that is tomorrow. That is our future.
One day, I'm going to be able to walk into the room of every single patient that I diagnose and say, we have a way to cure your cancer.
One day the word cancer won't even exist.
One day.
One day.
One day, all this will change.
One day, I would hope that a parent never has to lose a child to cancer.
One day, a mom or a dad would never have to worry or be afraid about cancer because they'd never have to watch their child experience the effects of chemotherapy, radiation, wonder, is this going to change our lives? Is it going to change their lives? One day, cancer will never scare a mom or dad.
I would be delighted if one day I was no longer needed.